Hey everybody, GC13 here. The second season of Kid Cosmic ends on a high note, with the local heroes destroying Herodias and saving the world. It only gets better though, as Season 3 begins right where Season 2 left off, with the Planet Protection Group making them their elite strike team, and kitting them out with all sorts of awesome gear. Everything is perfect. Too perfect. It turns out that they never beat Herodias at all. Instead, Phantos sent them to live out a fantasy. And while the kid is having the time of his life, being the big-time comic book hero he always wanted to be, not everyone is convinced. Papa G is skeptical, but after he figures out what's going on and decides to play along, Joe also realizes something is amiss. By the time Joe discovers the truth, though, the viewer will probably have already realized. Not only is there always a character questioning the probability of what's happening, but the narrative itself bends around this deception like light around a gravity well. To put it simply, these bite-sized bits of comic book one-upmanship don't feel like a narrative is supposed to. Start with the very premise, the way the PPG seeks out the team. The Earth has been showered with stones, and they must have a bunch of them already. Rather than giving some to their own people though, or inviting the local heroes to be one of their teams, they went all in on Kid Cosmic and made his team their only team. I mean, it's a story. I guess I can accept that the heroes of the story will continue to be the heroes of the story, even if it doesn't make logical sense. But it just feels unearned for the characters. And a lot of the stuff in the fantasy world feels unearned. The biggest thing they did, for me, was the chant. When all of those serious people in suits started chanting for the global heroes, well, I have to go back to that Steven Universe the movie clip already, because
something is clearly wrong.
After that, everything escalates so quickly. Oh look, we have a mission already. Oh look, we have uniforms. Oh look, we have a car, and we're going to use it because it's awesome, even though Joe can portal us there faster than the car can drive us. I actually liked the mission they went on, though. Like Papa G said, it felt right for our team. But the kid didn't like it. He wanted a supervillain. And so we met Big Boss. It wasn't the fight itself that felt wrong, just his presentation. He shows up out of nowhere, causing a crash that Papa G rightfully pointed out should have mangled the team, but somehow didn't scratch them. And then is defeated in a single encounter. Oh, and yeah, sure, the police cars definitely would have been able to drive down into that crater. And then the crowds, the flashbulbs, Kid introducing the team for everyone. It was just a comic book ending in a series that had never been written like a comic book before. Things got even more bizarre in the second episode, when it was Joe's turn to be skeptical. By the time we're at an ancient Egyptian site with modern geographical coordinates chiseled onto them, I'm hoping most viewers are on board the "this isn't right" train. But be honest, the scene with not Jimmy Olsen was a pretty loud shout to be on your toes. This is all wrong. And what was wrong with Skippy's scene? It was the emotional weight out of nowhere. The death of a character we're assured means a lot to our protagonist, even though we've never seen him in our lives. All of this is very intentional. It's the worst of comic book writing, being brought into a show that's always balanced its look of a comic with a heavy dose of grounded storytelling. When Kid Cosmic drops its "life isn't like a comic book, things are going to be hard" shtick, and starts showering the characters with everything they could have ever wanted, you're going to sit up and pay attention. When the show gives a villain all the time they would have got as part of a montage in Season 1, but is portrayed as being their entire interaction with the team this time, you're going to sit up and pay attention. Papa G paid attention, and Joe did too. Back when the kid read those comics the first time, they were his escape. His parents were gone, he was in a new home, and while he was building a relationship with Papa G, his life was in a bad place, so that escapist fantasy took root in him, and that's what gave us the first season of the show, where Kid had to learn some hard lessons about life to become a better person and a better hero. Living through those comics in the third season, Kid was able to go back to enjoying them for what they were to him when he was younger. A fun ride, a thrilling escape from reality. But when he finally got what he had wanted most, a reunion with his parents, he didn't need to listen to Joe or Papa G. He could feel in his heart that it wasn't right. That kind of shock reveal may be good for popping a rating, but it's not going to satisfy an audience like a well-crafted story, and it's not going to soothe the aching heart of a kid who misses his parents. I don't want to sound like I'm too down on comic books, but the format just demands a certain style of writing. Things happen because they have to happen, because this month's issue can't be boring or people might skip it, and if they skip it, they might drop the series. It's not just your bright wish fulfillment comics that do it either. Even comics on the darker end of the spectrum, like Irredeemable and Fear Agent, will do it. You can feel it even as you read the comics for what they are, but Kid Cosmic's third season showed us how discordant it is when you juxtapose it with a more fleshed out narrative. It sticks out so much, it makes it feel like the characters are living in a fantasy land. What do you guys think? When did you notice just how wrong things were in Season 3? Did Papa G convince you? Or was it up to Joe? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more cartoon videos.